The latest city to fall, Phoenix, Arizona. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage. Today we're going to examine one of the areas that's about to fall. In fact, they're falling right now. We're going to explain why and why this is potentially coming to a neighborhood near you. Phoenix, Arizona, in the last boom-bust cycle of the '08 era, it was a euphoric hotspot for the builders and people pouring in, and they crashed. They were one of the biggest crash sites in America. And all the usual suspects are back in play again, Phoenix, Arizona. Although in this one, it's quite, I would say the only thing different about this, people always wanted to say, this time is different, Scott. No crash risk here. I'm like, anytime there's bubble behavior, there's going to be crash risk. And the only thing different in this bubble, it's worse. Bigger bubble, bigger blowback was overnight appreciation and never seen before highs. That's a bubble, no matter how you slice it. So we were warning pretty early on, even in the low interest rate environment when everybody was on the Kool-Aid. Every mainstream media platform, every real estate company was telling you they're red hot. I saw this movie before. Had a moment of clarity. I got to turn on the camera. I know I'm a licensed real estate agent. I'm benefiting from this mess, but I can't sit back and watch people just blindly pour into a market that has this type of danger written all over it. So here we are today watching the blowback of exactly those things we were warning about early on. And Phoenix, Arizona is up to bat. And this is the realities. We're going to take a look at a property today and what's so wrong and broken with, they're in the top 10 of metros currently exhibiting crash behavior. There's so many to choose from. Throw a dart at a map, you're going to hit an area. And the scary part is we're just entering. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. But this is really scary for me. There's so many things different in this bubble, but not for the right reasons. In the last '08 era, we had like a recession and some job pain, but we didn't have runaway inflation. We haven't had inflation like this in a long, long time. I can't even remember, maybe 70s, 80s. It's been a long, long time. So the last crash, that was the biggest crash on record, still is, but this one's threatening to clearly eclipse it. And we didn't have inflation. Like, I'm seeing stuff today. Like, I remember my mall still had anchor stores in 2008. Macy's, Nordstrom's was still, they're gone now. They're gone. This is bad. I'm starting to scare myself. Whew. But, one of the reasons I love real estate, I own real estate, I operate real estate, I have some good holdings. In the last bubble era, I bought a home because I drank a little bit of that Kool-Aid and I learned an important lesson. I don't regret it now because what I've learned has become an asset instead of a liability. So anybody sugarcoating this one or wasn't a bill-paying adult in the last crash or suffered even a little blowback, I just have to take anything you say with a grain of salt. Let's just say that. But right now what I'm seeing, because you see in the euphoria, when people were drinking the economic Kool-Aid, suffering from FOMO, buying houses that they now regret buying because you were buying houses that you wouldn't have looked twice at, but you were getting beat and overbid and you got desperate. So like you started your journey, you're like, oh, I would never buy that house. And then by the end of your journey, you're like, I'll take it. That's what I just saw. It's clear shift going on right now. People, it's panic time. It is panic time for millions. Their low interest rate is not going to save them. It's not. That's what inflation does to you. Inflation was the bamboozle. The low interest rate isn't saving you if you can't keep up with your cost of living. But here's the challenge. We're exiting the bubble era and we're entering the crash era for many cities, and I expect many more to join the party. And what once would just sell immediately is now stuck on the market, chasing the market. And the sellers are having a hard time coming to grips with that. They just don't understand. They're either in denial, which I get it. I mean, you're trying to sell your house and some agent told you, yeah, I want your listing. That's the other thing. These agents will tell you anything you need to. Just need to get the listing. Because we're begging for listing, buried in buyers with no sellers. That's all please give me a seller. Oh my gosh. Well, the shift is clearly happening now. We've got sellers. Unfortunately, those sellers and agents themselves have euphoric recall. They're chasing the market. I would say healthy people have healthy relationships. I don't want your listing if you don't let me price you right. I'm going to give you straight talk. I'm a rare breed though. I don't need your listing. And even if I did, I still wouldn't want to take it and just have another loser on my hands and then a strained relationship and somebody that doesn't want to use me again as their agent because it was such a debacle getting them sold, stuck on the market for a year, chasing the market with price reduction. It'd be horrible. Horrible. My gosh. But today, to drive our point home, I want to jump over to our good fuzzy friends over in Phoenix, Arizona, who crashed in spectacular fashion in the last crash, and they're up to their old tricks again. In fact, we got new cities joining the party in this one due to migration and remote working. New cities decided they'd like to be a player in this crash that weren't a player in the last crash. This thing's going sideways on so many levels, but I want to raise economic awareness right now and help you. I know most of you watching get it. You just come here because you want to be entertained. You're like, let's see that Scott Walters blow it off another one. Well, we're going to do that today for sure. Whew. I'd rather do rainbows and sunshine videos, but that's not this time. It's coming though. It's coming. And if you're buying today, tomorrow, next week, next year, I'm going to show you the right way to do it. You know how to do it. Does it pencil out? That's all you need to know. Let those interest rates keep going up. As long as that house pencils out, man. Whew, insanity. So today, to drive our point home, let's jump over to Phoenix, Arizona, examine a listing. Then we're going to meet back here to wrap this one up. Let's get started. Hey friends, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, lock your doors, maybe even put on an economic face mask if you still have one. We're heading into Phoenix, Arizona, although it's not all rainbows and sunshine. Let's bring up today's crash map, courtesy of our good fuzzy friends and failed iBuyers over at Zillow. Everything on your screen going through the kiss of death, price reductions. Now let's go ahead and jump on to a local listing over in Phoenix, Arizona. It's not all rainbows and sunshine here either. This isn't what we expected. We were expecting a FOMO factory, move-in ready to go. Not this listing. It's occupied, and they're not ready for showings at all. Well, don't worry yet. Maybe they're priced right. Let's go ahead and jump into some of its pricing. Today's listing is priced right under $300,000 and just went through a hefty price drop of $5. That's right, folks. You read it correctly. A $5 price reduction. But wait, it gets better or worse depending on how you look at it. You know I don't like anybody carrying on with a mile-long property description, but this one gives me a sentence or two. That's it. Clearly, our sellers are not serious about getting sold. Let's look a little further. But wait, it gets better or worse depending on how you look at it. After their most recent $5 price reduction, they've been stuck on the market for months, toying with pricing. In fact, I've never seen this before. A $1 price reduction. Are you kidding me? What are you guys up to over there? Who's drinking the Kool-Aid? Somebody please come help these people get sold. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back, and there you go. Can I interest you in making an offer on that house? They've been stuck on the market, chasing the market, playing with price reductions. Did you see that? Can you imagine being the agent for that seller? So we had another open house this weekend, and nobody showed up. We just still don't have any offers. I think we need to do a price reduction. What? $5? $5? Okay. Let's do a $5. I've never seen a $5 price reduction until this bubble. $5. That shows me, like, I wouldn't even write the offer on this property. And here's the challenge. If that property was move-in ready, show ready, showed like a FOMO factory from one of these new builders, separate video, big trouble. Maybe I could go, hey, maybe I can get you a sucker to come in with a full price offer on your house. Pretty nice. That house is not move-in ready. That was occupied potentially by renters, maybe the owner. I don't know. But if my house shows like that, there's only one thing. There's one thing. One thing will fix a house that doesn't show well. Only one, though. Price. Price it right. Find out who your competition is and beat them. If I'm touring clients in that price range around homes and I show them move-in ready houses, then I got to show them that one, how many people do you think are going to want to ride on that? None. But a year ago, before interest rate hikes, people would have. Those times have come and gone. We're in a risen interest rate environment with runaway inflation. And the fractures continuing to display themselves. You need to understand now, sellers, the waters you're swimming in, especially if you're in Phoenix, Arizona. Why? Because you crashed in the last crash. You're doing it again. And throw a dart at a map, you're going to hit an area doing the exact same thing. So unfortunately, it just becomes, how motivated are people to really get sold? What kind of hands are they in terms of their real estate professional? Do they take their listing just because they needed to take a listing? My fear is this, friends. This is a lot of people right now too. I'll talk about my industry though, but this is white collar industry stuff. I see more and more agents during the euphoria pumping their chest up, grandstanding on social media with their new houses and their new cars that they went and financed based on incomes that were only created during the bubble. Now they're faced with that cost of living in a reduced income environment. They're not doing as much business as they were. They're in trouble too. And I've always said, you never want an agent in worse shape than their own clients. And that's potentially what we could have here, friends. Agents in worse shape than their clients because they drank the Kool-Aid. They got caught up into the euphoria themselves. Very few agents were here, like at least this one talking today, warning that this won't sustain itself. That's why for me, I took on zero new debt. I didn't go finance anything. I started paying stuff down or off right away and stacking cash. First thing we need to do is weather a storm. To see how to weather a storm, you'll never time the bottom, but we've timed the top. It's reverse course. We've identified the top of the biggest bubble ever witnessed in human history. That we've achieved. Now it's timing the bottom. You won't do it perfectly, but what we can tell you now is it's time to weather a storm, make sure you're financially fit, everything's secure, and then allocate. It comes down to risk tolerance. Allocate percentage of your funds to go ahead and deploy it into these markets with an agent that's going to put your needs before their own, making sure, despite the interest rate, that property pencils out, that it could stand on its own 2 feet as a rental if it ever needed to, even if that's not the intention of the property. That's the way. It doesn't take people of 95% of all millionaires made their money in real estate using that exact same principle. Unfortunately, the Wall Street and investors that poured into this casino climate got caught in a game of musical chairs. They're in big, big trouble. You don't need to own a pile of real estate, just a handful, and you can ride off into the sunset. It's going to be my job to guide us through it the best of my ability, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media link in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. A shout out to ScottWaltersRealestate@gmail.com. We'll find you there. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today, and I'll see you on the next video.